This is October, November 2016. We're going to be looking at question 4. So we've discussed disclosure. Question 4 is a disclosure question where they've given you a trial balance. Okay, what does a trial balance do? Let's revise as we go as well. What's the purpose of a trial balance? It's to check that debits are equal to the credits. Okay, so does this trial balance balance? Yes, it does. Okay, so everything's fine. Okay, so I can use this information and I can draw up a statement. Okay, disclosure. Disclosure is just presenting information in a specific format so that users can see what the profit is, users can see what the assets are, users can see what the equity is, users can see what the liabilities are. Okay, that's what you're looking at. Okay, remember earlier when we covered inventory, we need to identify what system is being used. Do they tell you anywhere in this question what system is being used? Yes, they did, here. Okay, so this one was, you were lucky, you were given it. Okay, they told you that Maborco Traders was using the periodic system. Okay, so what does that mean? This means I need to calculate cost of sales. That's what we're looking at. Okay, so now I know I have to calculate cost of sales because I was given the periodic inventory management system. Okay, we know cost of sales is an equation. Just to revise, cost of sales is opening stock plus purchases minus purchases returns plus other costs minus closing stock. Okay, we'll write that down again later when we do the disclosure. Okay, but that you would have covered in the inventory chapter. Okay. We know M is not a registered VAT vendor. That helps us a lot. Why? I don't have to worry about input and output VAT. Makes our lives a little bit easier. Inventory, 31st December, 18,000. Does that help us? Yes. This is 31st December 2015. Very important exam technique. You need to look at this. Okay, the required. The required is asking you about 31st December 2015. So is this the beginning or end? That's the end. So this is the closing stock. That's what you've got there. Okay, and then they've given you D, which was vehicles and machinery. So we just covered PPE not so long ago. Okay, so we'll revise that again. There's your depreciation. Okay, they've given you two different assets that you need to depreciate. Okay, what is the required asking for? Well, 22 marks, which is 22%. Prepare the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income of Maborco Traders for the year ended 31st December. All formulas and calculations must be shown. Right, so let's start with format. Okay, this is what I would do in my exam. I would go to my script, okay, my folio paper, and I would write a heading. Statement of comprehensive income for Maborco Traders for the year ended 31st December 2015. That's what they said in the question, right? Yes, they've given you that. Okay, so that's the first bit. Right, what does the statement look like? Well, it has a heading. Okay, there are columns for workings and there are columns for totals. Right, depending on what format you're using, you could use either or. It's not going to make much of a difference. You can use a single column format or you can use a double column format. Okay, I'm going to use double column. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to start with sales. Then you'll have cost of sales. And then cost of sales is obviously going to be calculated, right? Okay, so cost of sales is going to have a separate calculation here. Okay, so there'll be a calculation there. So I'm going to leave space. We can actually write down the formula. Opening stock, add purchases, less purchases returns, add other inventory costs, less closing stock. Okay, and that's the formula. Obviously, we need to actually complete that, so we need to put in amounts, which we'll do so just now. But that's what you've got. Okay, then sales minus cost of sales gives me a gross profit. So I'm going to have a total here for gross profit. Okay, then there is going to be other things. So there'll be other income. Okay, then I'll list other income. There'll be other expenses. So leave a few lines, other expenses. Okay, and then leave a few lines. Okay, you can show more detailed disclosure. Okay, it's possible. But the International Financial Reporting Standards have a guideline in terms of how detailed your disclosure should be. Okay, the statements can look a little bit different as long as all the information is there. Alright, so that's what you've got so far. Let's go back to the question. And let's go down the list. I want you to go down this list. And I want you to put next to it, what is it? Okay, I'll do two with you. Sales is an income, so I'm going to put an I. Purchases is an expense, I'm going to put an E. I want you to do the same thing with all the others. Do you know what you're dealing with? That's the big question. If you know what you're dealing with, you'll know where to disclose it. Okay, that's step number one. But obviously, I'll show you exam technique just now, because as you go through the list, you should take those amounts through to where you need to put it. Okay, but I just want to use this as a test. Okay, so test yourself. Go down the list, identify what they are. Great, so now you've done that, let's check what you did. Okay, sales is income. So if I've got sales, I need to put that income. Sales will go to where? Statement of comprehensive income, because we spoke about that earlier. Okay, we had that summary slide. Statement of financial position has what? Assets and liabilities. Statement of comprehensive income has what? Income and expenses. Okay, so if I'm looking at the statement of comprehensive income, important NB, income and expenses. That's what I'm going to be looking at. Okay, for the statement of comprehensive income. If I was asked to do the statement of financial position, if asked to do the statement of financial position, you would then have good. That's what you would have. Okay, so again, it comes back down to your basics. Do you know what you're dealing with? That's the reason why I'm stressing it so much, is because even with disclosure, you need to know what things are. Okay, so sales I know is income. Income will be disclosed here. This was 520,000. So where do I put that? I'll put that there, 520,000. There's my sales. See, I'm getting marks as I go. This is exam technique. So in your exam, you would do the exact same thing. You draw up the template, okay? Then you start at the top of the trial balance. And you go line by line by line by line, and you see what you've been given. And then you get all the easy marks. Okay, every single paper will have easy marks. You just need to know how to get them. Okay, so this is how you get some easy marks. Purchases, what is it? It's an expense. But now, a bell should be going off. Purchases relates to cost of sales. That's important. Okay, so now I go to my cost of sales. There's it. There's my purchases. So purchases is an amount of, what is it? 270,500. 270,500. There's my purchases. Get a mark for showing that. Make sense? Okay, what is sales returns? Come, you did the rest, so tell me what they are. Sales returns is what? What did you say it was? Good. Okay, a sale is an income, so the return must be the expense. Okay, but sales return is specific for the sales. So this amount of 5,300 needs to be taken off the sales. Okay, sales returns gets taken off the sales because it's a specific expense. But because it's an expense, I need it in the statement of comprehensive income. Bank, what is bank? Bank is an asset, I don't need it. Debtors control? Debtors? Debtors control. Yes. Okay, debtors are people who owe the business their resources controlled by the business. Meets the definition of an asset. Okay, don't need it for this type of question. Purchases returns, do I need it? Yes. What is it? No. Yes. Okay, purchases would be the expense. The return would be the opposite. So, like an income. Okay, but it's specific to this. See? Okay, so less. Okay, remember in accounting you show negatives in brackets. Okay, I can't do that on Excel, so I'm going to just show a minus. Okay, minus 380. 3800. Okay, but that should be in brackets. Okay, it's a negative amount. Accountants show negatives in brackets. Okay, what is inventory 1st of January 2015? What is that? What is inventory? Inventory is an asset, but do I need this asset? Yes, because this relates to the periodic system. Okay, the periodic system uses opening and closing stock. So this is something I would highlight, underline, circle. It's important because that gives me the opening stock. Opening stock, 9,000. That goes over here. There's the 9,000. Make sense? Okay, opening stock. Beginning of the year is 1st of January. End of the year is December. There's the beginning. Machinery, what is it? Asset, don't need. Vehicles, what is it? Asset, don't need. Accumulated depreciation, what is it? Negative asset, don't need. Negative asset again, don't need. Creditors? Liability, don't need. Insurance? Good, do need. Okay, so go to your insurance. Well, go to your expenses and put in your insurance. Okay, there's your insurance. Open brackets. What was the amount? 11,750. 11,750. There's my insurance. Got that? Is it okay? Drawings, what is it? Drawings is drawings. Drawings is its own account. Drawings is owner's equity. Don't need it. Wages? Good. I do need it. Get a mark for it. Show it. Wages, open brackets. What is the wages? 125. Okay, admin expenses. Do I need it? There's the answer. It's an expense. 75,200. Capital, do I need it? No, capital is capital, so I don't need it. It's owner's equity. I don't need it for this question. Rent expense, there's the answer. Rent expense is an expense. Rent expense. Open brackets, 39,600. Got that? Great. Next, repairs and maintenance. What is it? Good. Do I need it? Yes. Okay, 8,100. Repairs and maintenance. 8100. Next, printing. Do I need it? Yes, it's an expense. Good. 4,700. Is that right? 47. Great. Thanks. Okay, and that's it. There's all your easy marks. Right, so now I've looked at the trial balance. All I need to do now is do some additional information. Point number A, I can say thank you very much for telling me this is periodic. I knew already because I saw the word purchases, okay, but that helps. So what can I do here? Work out your cost of sales. Okay, there are no other costs. Closing stock I need. We saw it here. There's the closing stock. So I'm going to tick number C, 18,000. 18,000 goes here. Yes. There we go. Great. Right, so we've looked at the closing stock. I take the amount, I put it in, and now I calculate. Okay, so you add those two, you subtract, and that gives you cost of sales. Okay, so cost of sales goes in that column. Cost of sales is that, and it's going to be a minus because it's an expense. So you show that in brackets. Okay, right, see, this is the double column format. Okay, you can do it single column if you want to. I just think it looks nicer, double column. It's neater as well. Okay, it doesn't matter how you do it as long as the examiner can see what you're doing. Okay, so they can see I'm adding and subtracting to get cost of sales, which is a expense. Is that okay? Right, go back to the dish information. There's no VAT, so that's great. I don't actually need that point, but we can tick it. Then point number D. Okay, there's an adjustment. We need to process depreciation. Okay, do I like the vehicles? Yes, I do. Why? It's straight line method. Okay, if it's straight line, I use what? Do you remember? I think I even gave you some homework, that one. We'll check it just now. Okay, we'll check that homework just now, the diminishing balance, yes. Yes, okay, but we'll check just now. Let's just finish this. Vehicles. Do I like straight line? Yes, because I use what? I use cost. Does cost change? No. So where's my vehicles? Go find it. Ah, there's my vehicles. Okay, there's the vehicles. It's 72,000. Okay, so depreciation is what type of account? An expense. Depreciation on vehicles. Open brackets. What is the cost? 72. What is the percentage? 20%. 72,000 times 20% gives you an amount of 14,400. There's the depreciation. Okay, so you see, you're just taking from your different study units and you're just putting it all onto one page. That's all you're basically doing. Make sense? Great. Next. Machinery, 10% diminishing balance. Diminishing balance, again, just to revise, uses carrying value. Carrying value is cost minus accumulated depreciation. That's how I calculate carrying value. So I need it for the machinery. So where's my machinery? There's my cost. Let me highlight this rather. Where's the highlighter? There's it. Okay, so there's the machinery. And where's the machinery? There's the machinery. Okay, so I want that figure and I want this figure. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's write that down. Depreciation on machinery, open brackets, 35 minus 10,6. 35, 1, 2, 3, minus 10, 6, 0, 0. Close brackets, times how much percent? 10%. Gives you an answer. We'll see what it is just now. Let's copy that, get an answer. I get, oh, it can't be 0. Oh, there's an X here. Get rid of the X. There we go. Okay, 2,440 is the depreciation on machinery. Have you finished the question? Yes. Okay, all we need to do now is total and neaten up, and then we get 22 marks. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, I'm going to delete some of these lines. We don't need these lines. Okay, so my sales, I need a total here. So, subtract, get an answer. There's my sales. Right, how do I get gross profit? Gross profit is sales minus cost of sales. So here's my sales, and I subtract my cost of sales. So 514 minus 257 gives me 257. Okay, it's the same figure. Well, similar. Not quite the same. Okay, your gross profit. Gross profit was similar to your cost of sales. Okay, there's no other income, so 0 there. Other expenses. Okay, let's put in all the other expenses. This one didn't change. 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 Perfect. I've got all of them. What do? Total them up. So, sum up all of the expenses and show that as a negative because expenses are bad. Okay, there's the negative. Right, and then the last line is going to be what? Your profit for the year or your loss for the year. Okay, looking at this, we can see there's going to be a loss here, right? Your income or gross profit is less than your other expenses. So, loss for the year, and the loss is going to be my gross profit minus my other expenses gives me a loss of 24,190. There's the loss for the year. And that's it, 22% for doing disclosure. Okay, knowing some of the adjustments, knowing what things look like in terms of layout and presentation. Okay, so some questions are easier than others. Okay, disclosure should be an easy question to do. You'll see we'll do more of these questions, and they're actually quite simple to do, so long as you remember what to disclose. Okay, so what do I disclose in the statement of comprehensive income? Income and expenses. I don't worry about anything else. Okay, later on when we do another past paper, then we'll look at statement of financial position. Okay, then we'll look at assets and liabilities. We just look at the other stuff. Okay, but there's one to start off. Okay, one example. There are more in your book, your study guide. So as I said, it's always good to go back and look at that, go over the material, read through the information, and then practice doing some of the questions. Okay, I want to do as many past papers as I can with you guys, so you can see the right standard as well. Okay, so you know what the level is, you know how to approach it. Okay, and that's the question number 4.